Was this week a flip or a flop, and what did I get done on my sewing room? Find out in today's episode. G'day, my name is Sean, and this is my weekly update where I share my quilting adventures. Let's go ahead and get started with our works in progress. The first thing I want to show you is some progress on the Halloweenies quilt, which is one by Artie's Quilting Co. Viewers that have been around for a while have seen that I've done the ghost block, and I've also done the Frankenweenie block down here as well. But I've actually taken this in a slightly different direction for right now because my wife thought it was a good idea to make this particular block into a wall hanging, and I thought it'd be fantastic too. So we've done the Frankenweenie one already. We'll remake this for the quilt, so don't worry. And then I've decided to go ahead and start doing some quilting on it. You can see on the green sections here, I've done some wavy lines here, and I think it makes it look really like a Frankenstein. Made his ears kind of furry, and then the same thing down here on his body. I'm going to continue doing some of the stuff on the pumpkin, and then up top here as well. So come back next week, you'll get an update on that one as well. But I'm really excited to try this as a slightly different project. The next thing I want to show you is some progress on the Fab Farm by Elizabeth Hartman. I've been working on the final blocks for this, which is the sunflowers. You may have seen this one before, but I actually had to rip this section and this section out because I made this one too wide. But now it looks great and it's perfect. And then I went ahead and did the big sunflower as well, and it's here, so you get to see both of these together. And so that's there, and then we'll talk a bit more about this project a little later on the episode as well. The next project that I brought out that hasn't had a whole lot of love recently is Toasted a Dragon, and that's a pattern by Legit Kit. This is my first time doing a big FPP project, and I'm enjoying it. And it's been funny that I'm actually enjoying doing the smaller piecing than I was the bigger piecing, which is not what I expected. I did these three sections and sewed them all together this week. It didn't take as long as I expected. And I'm using some batiks here because this is where some of the horns are and that sort of thing there. Not quite sure how the purple all fits into this, but that's what it called for. And I'm sure once we get the whole thing together, it's all going to make sense. And then we also have this little section. And even though it says section A, this is the last one to go together on this huge piece of paper here. It's going to have like 14 sections or something like that. Yeah, there we go. So that's what I have for my works in progress. No, I told lies. I have one more thing to show you. The courthouse steps. So this is a FPP pattern by It's So Emma, and I'm doing this along with my friend Katy from Greenland Quilter. And last week over on her live, I did a few of these, and I finished up the last few again myself. So this is the first one here. This was just using a mixture of scraps in my bucket. Some of these are batiks, and then some of these are just prints as well. This one here was out of my snippets from Cotton Cuts. This was one of the older colorways, and I just think this one turned out really nicely. This was just all scraps from cotton that I had in my scrap bucket, and then I figured I'd do one in all greens just because I had some pinks and some blues, and I figured why not add greens to it. So it turned out really nicely. So that's what I have for my works in progress. I'm telling you the truth this time. And we'll move on to our week in review. And if you're new to the channel, welcome and thank you so much for sticking it out. I hope you enjoy. And this is a series of videos I take during the week, mostly of me sewing, but also of any adventures we get up to. So I hope you enjoy. Last week I asked everybody if you preferred printed patterns or PDFs, and I loved reading all the answers. And it was a nice mix. Some of you enjoy the printed patterns and some enjoy the PDFs. And especially a lot of my international viewers really enjoy the PDFs because the cost of postage to places outside the US and Canada is just prohibitive sometimes. So the PDF, plus you don't have to wait. And that's kind of the appeal for me for PDFs, is if I get excited about a project, I want to print it out and get started right there and not have to sit by my mailbox for days. Anyway, I thought it'd be fun to ask this week, roughly how many days a week do you sew? For me, I've been doing the every day in September challenge, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's really given me a really good habit to try and get into the sewing room at least for a little bit each day. Sometimes I change up what I'm doing. So for me, I'd have to say 6 to 7 on average. I think I've only missed a handful of days all year. But I'd love to hear in the comments, how many days a week on average do you sew? Now it is time to set my goals for this week. And last week I had 3 goals and I actually achieved 2 of them. So I figured this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the one that I didn't do as a goal for this week. And that is go ahead and cut out the fabric for Clue 7 or Part 7 of the Alice in Wonderland themed sew along that finished last year, but we're still enjoying the journey there as well. And then I'd also like to get some more quilting done on this here as well, and maybe do some more on Toasty, some other fun stuff there as well. What are your goals for this week? Now it is time for our news and events. We had a few videos come out this week. The first one was the Clue 8 time lapse of the Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts, where I'm doing the flamingo colorway. It was a lot of fun seeing that come together. I love those colors. If you missed it, go definitely check that one out. I had a short come out later in the week, and that was a question that I asked myself, what surprised me about foundation paper piecing? You need to go check that one out to find out what the answer is. And then yesterday morning I had my friend Donnell from Donnell's Stitchery join me. We had a lot of fun sewing stuff together. I put together part of a dog block, which you'll get to see a little later in the episode as well. This coming week I will actually be joining my friend Tammy over at the Siberian Wind at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. Yes, the early guy is going to be on late. We're going to be putting together the Fab Farm, which is this here, along with all the beautiful animals that her and I have been working on over the last 6 or 7 months. And then later on in the week, I'm going to put out a fun video. Earlier in the year, I did a log of all the different whips I had. I'm doing an update video on that, so you get to see the updates on those whips. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As many of you know, I host an online guild, and our next meeting is going to be tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'd love it if you're able to join us, and if you're looking for a guild home, we would love to have you come join us as well. And this is your last call to join our guild quilt show. Entries are due in tonight, and then we're also going to have our next guild challenge. So if you don't want to miss any of that action, definitely come join us over in our Discord server at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help. And so now it is time to be able to share with you a couple of completed blocks. The first one is Cookie the Terrier, or Cookie the Dog. If you know which breed he is, please let me know in the comments, because we're still trying to figure that one out. This is the dog pattern by Elizabeth Hartman. Worked on this yesterday in my live, and now he or she is completely done. So I think this doggo turned out really nice. I'll give you a closer look at the face. I think it turned out super, super nice. And then I've been working on Christopher Robin, which was part of the 100 Acre Wood sew along by Artie's Quilting Co. And I am finally done with this block, so we'll actually be able to move on to block 9, which is putting it all together. So we're very close to finishing this. So you've seen Christopher Robin's before. You can now see his umbrella. He's got his little cool gum boots, honey pot. I mean, it came together so nicely. And then he's hanging out here with Piglet and giving him his umbrella. So we'll try to come back a little bit more. There we go. Now you can kind of see the whole thing. So there you go. And so that's what I have for my finished objects. If you enjoyed today's episode, I'd love it if you hit the like button, and definitely check out this video next if you've missed it already. So I hope you'll have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.